Now, this is paper number EL4501, Unit 4. This is for CIA 2 syllabus. The topic is multivibrator. So, what is this? The multivibrators are two-stage switching circuit in which the output of the first stage is fed to the input of the second stage and vice versa. The output of the two stages are complementary. Multivibrators are the three types, namely astable multivibrator, bistable multivibrator and monostable multivibrator. Astable multivibrator, bistable multivibrator and monostable multivibrator. There is no stable stage, two stable stage, one stable stage. The difference is, I repeat, all the oscillators discussed in the last F5BSc to up to this, there are sinusoidal, they all are mostly sinusoidal oscillators. Sometimes we need voltage of wave shapes other than the sine wave. Among the non-sinusoidal oscillators, the square wave generator is very important. Square waves are need for the testing of the video amplifiers, pulse amplifiers. Repetitive pulse find applications in the radar and in triggering the many digital circuits. The first of all we discuss about the astable multivibrator. In this astable multivibrator, it is also known as a free-running multivibrator, which generates this type of the square waves. In the figure we can discuss later on. It is the basic collector coupled transistor multivibrator, and it is essentially a two-stage RC coupled amplifier with the output of the first stage coupled to the input of the second stage and the output of the second stage coupled to the input of the first stage. Since the phase of the signal is reversed when the amplified by the single stage of the common emitter amplifier, it comes back to its original phase when it is passed through the two stages. Hence, the signal fed feedback to the base of the either transistor is in the same phase as the original signal at its input. It amounts to positive feedback. In a multivibrator, also it is known as relaxation oscillator, the amount of feedback is very large, so large that the transistors are driven between cutoff and saturation mode almost instantaneously in between this. A transistor remains in either saturation or cutoff for a period determined by the time constant RC of the element in the base circuit. So, here we are discussing first of all collector coupled astable multivibrator. Astable. The meaning of the astable, it is nothing but it is the free running multivibrator which generates the square wave without any external triggering pulse. The most important thing, without any external pulse, triggering pulse. It has no stable state. So a stable multivibrator, it has no stable state. This is the second point. Be remember, it has no stable state, but it has no stable state. That means it has two cozy stable state. It switch back and forth from one stage to the other, remaining in each state for a time depending upon the discharging of a capacitive circuit. Figure shows a basic symmetrical transistor astable multivibrator in which components in one half of the cycle of the circuit are identical to their counterpart in the other half. The square wave output can be taken from the collector of Q1, or we can take output across the collector of Q2. The waveforms at base and collector of the transistor Q1 and Q2 are shown here. So this is the circuit diagram. This is your circuit diagram of the collector coupled astable multivibrator. Here this is your transistor Q1, this is your transistor Q2. Both are identical. Both are identical, nearly equal. We can say nearly equal. There is no same to same transistor which is coming. All the parameters are equal. It is not possible, right? So the output of this Q1, it is taken here. Output of Q2, it is taken here. This is nothing but this is your Vc1. This is nothing but this is your Vc2. From here to ground, from here to ground. This is your RC network. This is your RC network, RC1, RC2, and this is the circuit diagram. Here only plus VCC supply is given. There is a DC supply. This DC, it is converted into the output from whether it is VC1 or whether it is VC2. We are getting the square wave at the output. So this DC, it is converted into the form of the square wave signal form. So I repeat, an astable multivibrator generates the square wave. From the figure, it is a basic collector coupled transistor multivibrator. It is essentially a two-stage RC coupled amplifier with the output of the first stage coupled to the input of the second stage, and the output of the second stage coupled to the input of the first stage. Since the phase of the signal is reversed when amplified by a single stage of the common emitter amplifier, it comes back to its original phase when passed through the two stages. Hence, we can say that the signal fed feedback to the base of the either transistor is in the same phase as the original signal at its input. Its amount to positive feedback in a multivibrator, the amount of feedback is very large, so large that the transistors are driven between cutoff and saturation almost instantaneously. A transistor remains in either saturation or cutoff for a period determined by the time constant of the elements in the base circuit. Now, from this figure, we can say that the working, how the circuit works, right? This is the diagram of the when we are taking across the VB2. What is VB2? VB2 is the voltage across base 2 to the ground. This is VC2. The VC2, that means output of the Q2 in between VC2 collector of the Q2 to the ground. This is your VB1. VB1 base 1 to the ground of the transistor Q1, and the last one is the VC1. It is the voltage across the collector of transistor Q1 to the ground. we are getting this type of the waveform across this, and how it is works. That means, first of all, working. When the supply voltage plus VCC is applied, when the supply voltage is applied, that means this one, one transistor will conduct more than the other due to some circuit imbalance. Initially, let us assume that Q1 is conducting and Q2 is cut off. So in the initial stage, this Q1 is in working mode and this is in off condition. Q1 is on, Q2 is off initially. Because the parameter of both the transistor are not equal, so there is a necessity to switch it on one more first than the second one, right? So it is more conducting than other. So first of all, we consider that Q1 is switched on and Q2 is off, switched off when we are applying VCC voltage. Then VC1, the output of Q1 is equal to VCE saturated. When it is in on condition, the current passing through this, there is a very low voltage of across the output of the collector to ground, that means VC1. So we can see the graph, VC1 voltage during this period is very low, nearly zero, which is known as VCE saturation, which is known as VCE saturation. That means approximately it is nearly 0 volt. And what about VC2? Then VC2, then Q2 is on Q2 is off condition. So the VCC is not passing through the Q2. That means it is across the VC2. So we are getting higher voltage at the VC2. So the VC2, it is equal to plus VCC. At this instant, C1 charge exponentially with the time constant R1 C1, with the time constant R1 C1 towards the supply voltage through R1, and for correspondingly VB2 also increases exponentially towards VCC. VB2 increase exponentially towards VC2, towards VCC. Now when VB2 cross the cut-in voltage, Q2 starts conducting and VC2 falls to VCE saturation, and VC2, this VC2 falls to nearly 0. Nearly 0. Right? I repeat, when VB2 cross the cut-in voltage, Q2 starts conducting and VC2 falls to VCE saturation. Also VB1 falls due to capacitive coupling between collector of Q2 and base of Q1, thereby driving Q1 into off state. Now the rise in voltage VC1 is coupled through C1 to the base of Q2, through Q1 C1 to the base of Q2 and the base of Q1, thereby driving the Q1 into off state. Now the rise in the voltage VC1 is coupled through C1 to the base of Q2, causing a small overshoot in voltage VB2. Hence Q1 is off and Q2 is on. At this instant, the voltage levels are VB1 is negative, voltage levels are VB1. This VB1 is negative and VC1 it is equal to VCC, VB2 it is equal to VBE saturation, and VC2 is equal to VCE sat. Now when Q1 is off and Q2 is on, now Q1 is off condition and Q2 is now on condition. In this situation, the voltage VB1 increases exponentially, because this is off condition, the voltage is here VC1, it is not passed, so this is maximum, and the voltage which is passing through the Q2 because it is in on condition, so this is your minimum value. So I repeat, when Q1 is off and Q2 is on, the voltage VB1 increases exponentially with a time constant R2C2, towards VCC. Therefore, Q1 is driven into saturation and Q2 is cut off. Now the voltage levels are VB1 is equal to VB saturation, VC1 is equal to VCE saturation, and VB2 is negative, and VC2 it is equal to VCC. All of this is according to this graph. So when the Q1 off, Q2 on, VB is in saturation mode. At that time again the VC is in also very nearly 0, but VB is very high, right? Again the VC1 is also approaches across the VCC, it is nearly equal to VCC. So from this, it is clear that when Q2 is on, the falling voltage Vc2 permits the discharging of the capacitor C2, which drives Q1 into cutoff. The rising voltage of Vc1 feeds back to the base of Q2, tending to turn in on. This process is said to be regenerative. So, one by one, when the second stage is coming, that means Q1 is on and Q2 is off. At that time, again VB2, which is moving towards the VCC from the negative to the nearly positive side. At that moment, again VC2 is very high, right? Approximately nearly VCC up to VCC, right? Again, in this point of view, VB1 at that point, that means Q1 is on and Q2 is off. VB1 it is nearly saturation region, that means nearly 0, right? In this way we can say that VC1 is also at that time nearly saturation mode, and that means nearly 0 mode. Here we can see the second portion of the square wave. So the circuit is working in this way. Thank you.